Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is a very impromptu video today. Basically, I think you might have seen in one of my vlogs already, or you will be seeing. I was meant to go to Portugal and we have ended up not going because of the power outages. So I have a free day basically to do nothing. So I thought I would do a 24-hour reading vlog, which is what we're going to be doing today. I have a few books that I really want to read. I'm definitely in a reading mood, which is really good. But I am starting my new job in 2 days. So I thought if I can just like read today and film this vlog today, then tomorrow I can do a lot more of like the admin sort of stuff to get ready for the new job and maybe like edit the video and stuff like that. I'm gonna do this by just showing you how much I can read in 24 hours rather than like timing it to the specific like 24 hours. I would love to do that at some point, but I just don't think that's really realistic for me. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. It's currently 9:02, so it will take us to 9:02 tomorrow. And yeah, I'm also getting my nails done tomorrow, like at 9:30. So I feel like this is perfect timing wise. Okay, so these are the 4 books I'm thinking of choosing from. I feel like I'm not 100% sure how many books I can read in a day, like realistically. I think maybe 3 is the maximum, like actually. So I don't think I'm going to read all 4 of these, but I don't even think I'll read 3, like maybe 2. So 2 of these books I did get in my May TBR video, and that is The Vows and Love and Other Words. The Vows, I feel like I'm probably going to start with that one because I'm just really excited to read it, and I know that it has quite like spring vibes. I think I might sit outside, maybe do a bit of sunbathing, and this is a really floppy book, so that's really good for that kind of thing as well. So I feel like I'm going to start with this, and then Love and Other Words. You would have seen how I feel about this book. It's quite a scary book to me because I know that I will get emotionally attached to it, but I'm feeling like giving it a go today. So we'll see. And then the other 2 books I found were kind of like just some different genres to switch it up if I feel like it. So I have The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager, which is a thriller book. This one I have had for a while and just never got to it. It gives me kind of like summery vibes because I know that it's like a lake house situation. I think it's like a couple who go to a lake house and then they see something going on in the house across the lake. That's the kind of vibe of it. And I've always liked Riley Sager's writing, so I know that I will like this one. And then the other physical copy I have is I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Harpman. This is a literary fiction, I believe, and it's very thin, so this could be like a last book kind of vibe. And I do really want to read this as well. I've been wanting to read it for a little while. And yeah, it's just really thin, so I might get to that one. And then the other book that I could listen to is called Everything Happens for a Reason by Danny Kerr. It's a memoir by Danny Kerr, who is a rugby player who plays for the team that I have supported my whole life. And I have basically watched his career at Harlequin, so I've just been really like loving listening to his story, how he's got there. We're kind of at the point where there was a scandal in the team. I won't talk too much about that book because I feel like no one cares, but it's fun for me, so I might listen to that. That'll be another one that I might do whilst I'm outside sunbathing. I feel like I've talked and rambled a bit now, so we should just get into it. I'm really excited though because it's just a fun day of reading. Okay, so it's 12:45 now and I just want to give it a little bit of an update. I think you would have seen me reading. I have been sitting outside as well, doing a bit of reading, so I'm now 150 pages into the Vows and I'm really liking it, to be honest. I'm finding it very similar vibes wise to Emily Henry books, which I love because obviously I love Emily Henry. Yeah, I'm just loving it. I don't know if it's going to be 5-star because I'm not getting those feelings, but I definitely could see myself attaching to the story and then maybe it'll be a 5-star. It also has kind of like solidified my love for second chance romance. I already knew I loved it, but like now I'm like, yes, I really love a second chance romance. And I also feel like this book is kind of reminding me of Happy Place in the way that the exes are working together to make their best friends happy, but I'm much preferring this to Happy Place. I didn't hate Happy Place by any means, but I didn't love it, and it might be my least favourite Emily Henry book, to be honest. I just wasn't like convinced by their romance, whereas this one I can definitely see it, and I'm really liking that. So those are honestly all my thoughts. I'm just loving it. It's really good. I'm gonna go and continue reading Vows. Okay, sorry for this really weird angle, but I feel like right now I just want to chill in bed and you're just gonna have to sit on my pillow. But I have some, not really updates, because I feel like there's not much to update you on. Like, this is just a really good romance, but I have finished sitting outside and I have about 100 pages, I think maybe over, maybe like 120, 130 pages left of the Vows. I really was over ambitious when I thought I could read 4 books. I don't know what came over me. I think I forgot how long it takes to read a book, but it is now about 3:30 and I started this around 9. But obviously I've had little breaks, but I have pretty much just read this, so that's interesting to know. I could potentially read maybe another short book as well as this, but I don't think anything more than that. I really am liking this book. As I said earlier, it is literally Happy Place, but way better. And I'm not gonna lie, it's making me want to read Happy Place, because like I didn't really love Happy Place. This one, I know that I'm guessing a third act conflict is coming soon, which I'm a bit scared about, but it feels like it's the right timing in their lives. They've sorted themselves out a little bit and their lives are kind of, the path is kind of colliding a little bit with them. And it didn't feel that way in Happy Place. So I'm liking that. And it's just so cute. But whenever I read books like this, I'm like, why have you left it so long to like try and rekindle? Obviously, no, there's other like circumstances to it and like mental health and that sort of thing. It just like kind of breaks my heart, especially as someone that like is in a very like happy, stable relationship. When I'm reading books like this, I'm like, I just can't imagine feeling that way for, I think they were broken up for 5 years and they both still want to be with each other. Like, it's just insane, but it's just because I can't imagine it. And yeah, I'm just really loving it. I don't think it's 5 stars. I feel like I rated Happy Place 4.25, but I think really it was a 4 star. And I think at this point, like, I feel like I'm gonna be really picky and give it a 4.75 because I am just really loving it. I also need to see what the third act conflict is though, because if it's really gonna annoy me, then I might rate it low. I have a feeling I know what the third act conflict is gonna be, and in my head, I always feel this way, but in my head, like, it's pretty resolvable, especially because of the point in their lives that they're both at, like career-wise especially. It seems pretty resolvable. But we'll see what actually ends up happening. And I'm loving the side characters as well in this book. The 2 friends that get married and then like all the other friends as well. I'm just loving that as well. So yeah, I'm really loving it. I'm gonna finish it in the next couple hours. So yeah, I think I said I have about just over 100 pages. So that's at least 2 more hours of reading. And it is 3:30. So pretty much most of the day is reading this book. But yeah, I'm gonna get back to reading it. You would have just seen I finished the Vows. Also, if you can hear my dad's music downstairs, I'm really sorry. He's like blasting it. But hopefully you can't. I finished it. First thing I want to say, and as I was getting towards the end, I just kept having loads of thoughts of what I wanted to tell you, but I've just been trying to like read it. So first thing, this book has solidified that the childhood friends to lovers second chance romances are my favorite, miles above any other romance. Those ones always make my heart hurt, and I don't know why, because I don't relate to it like at all. Either of those tropes I don't relate to it. It gets me every time. And like I would maybe say they're not really childhood friends, but like they're friends in their teens up until they become lovers in this book, and then obviously then it's a second chance. That is definitely my favorite romance trope. I've decided any book that has that I will read, and I know that Love and Other Words has that trope, but there was no way I was going to be able to read Love and Other Words and this one. I think my heart would have just been ripped out at that point. I've said this a few times, like, it's very easy for me to give a romance a 5 star if I can connect to it, and part of me wants to give this 5 star because I did have 5 star feelings, but I didn't cry, and I feel like I would have cried if it was 5 star. And again, I also don't cry easily, but books of this trope do make me cry. So that's why I'm kind of unsure if it's a 5 or a 4.75, because I did love it. And then if I think of other romances that I've rated 5-star, I love this more. And I don't know what the writer could have done differently. Like, yeah. So it's like a 4.755. I'm not 100% sure. Another thing I want to say is that obviously I was kind of talking about the third act conflict that might happen, and I feel like in this book it was done so well, because I know I kind of said in that clip it's something they can get over pretty like easily, and I feel like the way they get over it, like it's obviously not the way you want them to, but I feel like it was the right way to go about it. So I really loved that as well. In general, without getting too personal, I do see a lot of my own relationship in their relationship, so that was really like cute. There's a specific moment towards the end, if you've read the book you might know what I'm talking about, but that just resonated with me a little bit. And there's just other things in this book, in their relationship in particular, that I can see has been part of my relationship or is part of my relationship, and I feel like there's some things to learn about that. So I really like that as well. And I feel like the main message of this book is just communicate in your relationships, but also just like with your family, with your friends. If they love you and they care about you, they will listen to your feelings and they will work through it. And the other thing I want to say on that topic of communication is I feel like their original breakup, which you don't really see the breakup, you do kind of, but not really, would have been like they would have solved it if they had just communicated. Obviously there's a reason they didn't communicate, and there's a reason I feel like in real life, but in the book everything happens for a reason, and if they were meant to be together they were going to be together, and they did end up together. I think I might listen to an audiobook that I was talking about earlier now and fill out my reading journals. So that's the plan for the next hour-ish. Okay, so it is now 10 o'clock. So I did complete my reading journal and I am 65% into the memoir that I'm listening to. So I think I've read like 25, maybe even 35% of that this evening. I have decided to stop listening to that for now, and I'm going to start I Who Have Never Known Men now, just because I do like to have like a physical book that I can read in the evenings before I go to sleep. I don't think I'll get very far into it, but we'll see. I did also wake up very early this morning, so I'm not sure how much longer I'll be awake for. This book has, let me have a quick look. Yeah, this book has just under 200 pages, so I don't think I will finish it in this video, but if I do I'll let you know, and I'll give you some updates in the morning as well as I'm reading it up until 9 o'clock, because I normally wake up like 7, maybe a bit earlier than 7, so I will have a bit of time in the morning to read a bit more. But it does look like the chapters are very long, which is kind of similar to my year of rest and relaxation. I actually quite like that because it kind of made me read more than I maybe would have otherwise. I also didn't really know what this book is about, but I have just read the blurb and it says deep underground 39 women live imprisoned in a cage. I'll leave it at that. You can read the rest if you do want to read this book, but that sounds really interesting. So I feel like there is the potential for me to just want to keep reading this one. There's also the potential that I don't really feel like reading it. So I'll keep you updated on that. But I think I will have only finished the Vows in this video. It was a really good book, and I'm still kind of torn on my rating at the moment. I'm leaning more towards a 5-star though. Anyway, I'm going to get ready for bed and read this book, and then I'll see you in the morning. So it is now like 10 past 9, so I've got to get going, but I thought I would just film a really quick like wrap up of what I read over the past 24 hours. So you would have seen I did finish the Vows by Joyce. I think this is a 5-star. I feel like I've like kind of settled on the 5-star rating. I'm not 100% sure on that. I think it's a 5-star. Even if it's not, it's basically a 5-star. And yeah, I feel like you've got all my thoughts on this one. I just really loved it. Then I did listen to a bit more of the memoir this morning as well. So I think I ended up being like 70% through the memoir. So I did listen to a decent portion of that yesterday as well. And I should probably finish that in the next couple days. I'm really liking that. As I said, I don't feel like there's much to tell you about that one. I've been really enjoying it. And then I also read a little bit of I Have Never Known Men last night, and then I read up to page 51 this morning. I am liking this. I feel like the first 20 pages that I read last night, I was so confused on what was going on, and the writing is a bit interesting, but I am liking it now. There's no chapters, I think, so that's a bit different. I am liking it, and I feel like I'm slowly starting to get into what the story could be, and yeah, I'm really liking it. But it's not feeling like it's going to be a really highly rated book, just because I feel like the writing style maybe doesn't sit as well with me as other books similar to this that I've read. And yeah, those were the books that I read in the last 24 hours. I hope you enjoyed this like little quick impromptu video, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.